Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV. A fine Redemption Thursday to you and yours. Look at this, guys. Look, Ma, no hands. I normally say on a Redemption Thursday, or as I start the show, that's Tom Lang and there's Director Matthew. Now, they're not here. It's just me. I'm flying solo. It's me hosting the show, me producing the show, me saying hello. Come on in. Let's do some Redemption Thursday. All right, so let me set the stage for you. It is recorded today. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, going to join us next in the second segment. My mother and I will make picks in the second hour, as we're wont to do. We will also do the Red Zone segment that we always do on Fridays today. And, of course, we will have Solving for the Future with my friends at ISF. Yes, Probables will be here, too. We got a ton to get to and a tough to go and kind of vet. But first, I wanted to make sure that I had my picks ready to go, even though we're taking tomorrow off, hence the reason we're piling everything into one show today for the bye week. I will get to said picks in just a moment. You'll be able to see the wagers. We are on a roll right now. I don't want to screw this up. There was no way, no how that I was going to skip today with the run that we're on. What was it? 7-2-1 last week, I believe it was. The week before, we had a 7-win campaign. We're back well over 500 and kicking ass and taking names as the way it should be. And that brings me to the next point, which is before we get to these wagers, I should point out that yesterday was good news for Florida State, good practice for Florida State. And listen, this is a week, of course, where it's all about getting healthy. This is a week where Mike's got to fix some of the things that are inefficient, that aren't working. He's got enough data points now through 4 games where Mike can take a good long look at what they are and what they are not. And what's interesting about this team at 4-0, and we've said this time and again, because you found a way to win games without putting it all together. Now, I'm not going to say you've played poorly. Corey likes to point out that whenever I say they haven't played well, it sounds like by default that I'm saying they've played poorly. It's not what I mean. Obviously, they've played well in spots, and they've played well enough to be 4-0, and they've played well enough, quite frankly, to have the 2 most significant wins on anybody's schedule, meaning that if you group 2 games of the first 4 that anybody's played, nobody has a better resume than Florida State does with the 2 wins that they have, because I suspect, by the way, that Clemson's pretty good. And we think LSU is too. They've gone on to win the remaining games that they've played since losing decisively in Orlando to us. I think Florida State has the best resume. So if you're just going by 4-game resumes, Florida State should be number 1 in the country. That said, they're not. They're number 5. It'll all work itself out. Keep winning football games. But when I talk about them not playing well, it's relative to who they could be given the personnel. And this is a bit redundant this week, right? We've talked about this seemingly after every week. I don't know that we talked about it too much after the LSU game, but we did point out after that game that the first half left a little bit to be desired. We all know that Florida State's defense isn't starting games as well as they could. I think they're going to morph into more of this aggressive style defense that we've seen play when they do play well. I think it's more of who they are. It's the best that they play is when they are triggering downhill, when they are coming after the quarterback and speeding guys up and pressuring folks and making them make quicker decisions. And I think, oddly, that's really the kind of aggressiveness they're going to have to play with all year long, and maybe just play to that. The other thing that's going to happen for Florida State, and I don't think there's any doubt about this, the other thing that's going to happen for Florida State is the schedule gets easier. It just does. And you survive the 2 biggest games on your schedule, well, biggest games from a standpoint of giving yourself an opportunity moving forward to make the college football playoff. And now you've got to get better because Miami's better than you thought they were. Now you got to get better because you've shown against certain types of quarterbacks you could struggle and make games that ought not be close be very, very close. So Mike's got to get right in a lot of ways. He's got to get his personnel groupings back to where he wants them. He's got to have the right personnel on defense and offense. That's a matter of health in some cases. Akeem Dent would go a long way in helping this defense. But also Mike has to figure out who they are offensively. I don't know that this offensive line is going to get appreciably better than they are currently, which is to say, are they a good offensive line? I think they can be. I think they especially can be if Jordan Travis is able to run the football, and he has not done that. He has been really trying to protect himself. They've protected Jordan as a play caller, Mike and Alex have, and Jordan's protected himself in terms of getting rid of the ball sometimes sooner than he normally would have in order to avoid the big hit. The other thing Jordan's doing is not running, as we well know, and that really opens things up for this offense. So I think if you can get right, married with the schedule weakening, Florida State can look a lot more efficient. Florida State can look a lot better as players get healthier and the coach decides what they're going to be. I'm curious from a personnel standpoint what kind of changes, if any, they make. But I said before this diatribe that yesterday was a good day for Florida State. And that is because Mike Norvell announced that Darrell Jackson will be eligible for the postseason. Now, a lot of people immediately thought that Darrell Jackson would be eligible then for the ACC championship game. That does not seem likely. Darrell Jackson would be eligible instead for the next calendar year, which would mean in the playoffs, Darrell Jackson postseason play, if Florida State is to get to the Final Four, they would have an opportunity to play Darrell Jackson. And I'm here to tell you that fundamentally alters just how good Florida State's defense is. I already think Florida State's defense against the run is good, is very good. In fact, I think it's their strength. A lot of people have mentioned that Verse isn't having a good year. He's having a very good year. Jared Verse is having a very good year. He's not stockpiling sacks, but Jared Verse is making a difference. He resets the line of scrimmage, play in and play out. He's a sideline-to-sideline guy. He's a bit of a tear. Guys have to chip him. Guys have to account for him at all times. He's having a fine year. You'll see the draft will bear that out. It'd be cool if he had more sacks, and he might get an opportunity to do that as they face weaker teams and he gets more favorable matchups. But that's – and again, think about the mobile quarterbacks that they've faced. But I think for Florida State, getting Darrell Jackson back means if you're playing in a heavyweight battle, which one would assume you're going to be in if you're in the college football playoff, meaning you're facing a team that likely has a very good offensive line. You're likely facing a team that can be very, very physical. Darrell Jackson being added to this rotation, even if they ease him back in, say, 30 snaps. And by the way, because he's still practicing, and because he's still practicing well, and because Darrell Jackson, and this is a big deal, guys, because Darrell Jackson has made the right choices, and we should talk about that. If you're a guy, and I have to be careful about how I say this, but if you're a guy who perhaps doesn't love school, and you're a guy who's already transferred not once, not twice, but now you're here to your third team. So you've transferred twice, sorry. You're on your third team. And truthfully, you're looking for the opportunity to go out and have a great season, to put on tape that you can be a dominant player, and to go get drafted and change your family's fortunes and get after it at the next level, which is all you've wanted to do. And you have that body type, you have that size, you have that ability. And now you're in a place where you can win some football games. And they tell you, oh, by the way, that dream of yours, it's off the table. You're not playing this year. We're not granting you your waiver. When that happens to guys that don't love school and maybe are only passionate about playing football in the moment that allows them to cash in on the winning lottery ticket and the hard work that they've put into building a body like that, it can go south in a hurry. It can get ugly. It could get really ugly. You can have a guy stop going to classes, fail out of school, not provide you anything in practice. Now it's a deleterious influence in the locker room. You can have frustrations come to bear, but that's not what he's done. That's not what he's done, and I commend him. And I also tell you I'm somewhat surprised. Not because I'm attacking his character, just because all the eggs are in that basket, and the basket gets taken away, and all of a sudden you think, so what are you telling me? You're telling me I can't play, but I need to go to school every day, and I got to come practice and never get into a game? That'd be tough. That would rip your guts out. That would be hard to overcome. And so when you realize now that guy has been coming to practice every day, and you heard Mike Norvell talk about the reps that they've been getting from him, and you've heard Mike Norvell talk about him doing the right thing and how very impressed he is. I echo that sentiment. It's not necessary. He doesn't need me to care one way or the other. He doesn't need my approval. I'm just pointing out for contextual reasons, guys, that's a big deal. That guy is helping this team get better. This guy is going to help you if you make the postseason in big football games against strong offensive lines. Add that to what you already have with Farmer doing what he's doing, Fabo kind of working his way back in to more consistent play, to throw in with Briggs, to throw in with Malcolm Ray, to have the ability now to throw in a Darrell Jackson on that list. Everybody gets better because of that. The guys on the outside get better. Sorry, I didn't mention Braden Fisk. He's been great. This becomes a deep, 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 and dominant defensive front with Darrell Jackson. It's in addition to already being very good as is. So yesterday, Florida State got a lot better when that news came down the pike. It's a shame that he's not able to play in the games against Florida or Miami or really any of the other games because I think he would make a significant difference. It is a shame. But now we have a guy that you can count on, I think, if he continues down this path to really help you out in the postseason. All right, I mentioned it before. Now, lately, we've been scoring huge with player props in the NFL. And I have not been shy about ringing the bell and letting you guys know how well those player props have gone. I'm still making decisions on player props. And because I'm taking tomorrow off during Florida State's bye week, I feel like I cheated you a little bit on the Redemption Thursday wagers because I went straight college, straight spreads. Not first half totals, not totals at all, not player props, not quarterback numbers, none of that stuff. So I will promise you this. As I kind of make some decisions on some of that, if in fact I've got another one that I love, and we're 5 of 6 on player props so far this year, I believe that's the number, maybe 6 of 7. I got to go back and check. If I see another one that I love that jumps off the page today, I will make sure I tweet it out. All right? Hold me to it. Ask me about it. I'll do it. In the interim, wagers for today. Wanted to get to them. I got Oregon State. You guys can put them up on the screen right now. I got Oregon State minus 3.5 against Utah. Whispers are that Cam Rising's not going to play in this game either. Oregon State's a good football team, a really good football team. That Utah offense without Cam Rising is kind of gross. They win 14-7 last week. They play good defense. They play tough. They're well coached. They're a smart team, but they're not really clicking on offense without Cam Rising. So give me Oregon State there. I got Louisville laying the 3.5 against NC State. It's hard to watch NC State's offense right now. Armstrong's not playing well. I think Louisville's a little bit better team than people realized. I'll lay the 3.5. I like BYU. You guys know I've been on them this year. They hurt me once this year. I was off by a point on one of the games, but they also helped me beat Arkansas, and I picked them straight up to win that game. I'm taking 2 points against a bad Cincinnati offense. I got Southern Cal laying the 21.5 against Colorado. Like all of the teams in the Pac-12 that are equipped to do damage to Colorado, they're going to try to run it up. Nobody has appreciated Deion's act in the rest of that conference. Nobody appreciates over and over and over again having to hear about a team that is not going to be a factor to win that conference. They are not going to matter at the end of the day. They're not going to be competitive against the better teams in that league. And I think coaches and players alike got tired of hearing about it. Now, you might say, well, that's not Deion's fault, or you might say that's just jealousy. Fair. Doesn't really matter to me, the motivation, just that it exists. And I think it does exist to run it up on Colorado, who's not any good. They're not. Lay the 21.5. Clemson minus 6.5 against Syracuse. I was tempted because this is a tough spot game. I was very tempted to take Syracuse. Clemson has struggled in that building. Clemson's coming off an emotional loss. And then I thought about Clemson's defense. And then I thought about Clemson's linebackers. And then I thought, that's a mobile quarterback for Syracuse who's not all that fast, and I think Clemson's linebackers are. I'm going to go ahead and take Clemson to right the ship here. I'll lay the 6.5. I got Arkansas getting 6 at home against Texas A&M. Arkansas played really well last week in their loss to LSU. KJ Jefferson's a good player. I think they hang in there. Give me Georgia minus 14.5 against Auburn. Same theme as the other games that I noted before. Auburn cannot score. Cannot score. Their offense is dreadful. Georgia's got a good defense. Georgia will accidentally cover the 14.5 here. Mizzou minus 13.5 against Vandy. Vandy's not any good. LSU minus 2.5 against Ole Miss. I think they got personnel problems at Ole Miss. I think they may have locker room problems at Ole Miss. I like LSU's team. I'm going to lay the 2.5. And finally, bad spot game for Notre Dame. Had to have been an emotional loss, and then you're responding all week long to why it is you had 10 guys on the field, not once but twice, and the two most important plays of a football game. You got to button up, get serious, get focused. and go on the road and face a Duke team as coached by Coach Elko, who is one of the best defensive coordinators in the country. You remember him at Texas A&M. You remember him at Notre Dame. That's a really good coach. I think Duke will be ready. They'll be sky high like they were against Clemson. Give me Duke plus the points. I'm probably going to money line this thing in a combo somehow, some way. So there it is. There are your Redemption Thursday picks. We went straight college football, just the straight odds. Didn't get quirky. If I find some quirkiness, obviously in my private life, I'm definitely going to bet all that. But I'll tweet a few as I see them come through, especially player props in the NFL, which have been cashing on the regular. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Coming up next, Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. He's been on a roll lately as well. Quite the roll. Been winning for each of the last 3 weeks. I think he's 32-15 in his picks nationally that he's been giving out as of late. So we'll have Lee Sterling at Paramount Sports next.
The leaves are starting to fall, the temperatures will start to fall, and the prices are falling right now at Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas. Incredible dealer discounts up to $5,000 are available on all hot spring spas, the industry leader in hot tubs and spas. If you've never experienced the sensation and relaxation of having your own hot tub in your backyard on a cool evening, you're truly missing out. The cold months are coming, and now's the time to set yourself up for the best winter season you've ever had. Plus, you'll gain the added health benefits of reduced stress, relief of sore muscles, and better sleep. You'll feel so relaxed after a nice soak in your new hot spring spa. You'll experience some of the best sleep of your life. Head over to Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road and check out their huge showroom packed with the best selection of hot tubs and spas available. And ask about getting up to $5,000 in discount, low interest financing, and a free accessory to make your hot tub dreams come true. If you're ready to relax, Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas is ready to show you how.
Someone who thought texting was a better idea than stopping for a traffic light slams into your rear bumper. Now your back is injured and you've got to be at work and rehab all without a car. I'm Dana Brooks of Basic Brooks Law Offices, and we hear stories like this every day. You shouldn't pay for someone else's mistake. Call us at 850-777-7777 and we'll make sure you come back stronger.
Attention radio listeners, this is a Foodies Takeout and Delivery new restaurant alert. Now available for takeout and delivery from foodiestakeout.com. The Hawthorne Bistro, Jerry's Love on a Plate, Coach's Pizza, Munchie's Pizza, Red Eye Coffee, Lofty Pursuits, OG Subs, Dave's Pizza Garage, Sakura Sushi, and many more. Find a complete list of locally owned restaurants offering takeout and delivery at foodiestakeout.com. That's foodiestakeout.com. Don't just shop local, order local.
Choose Hearth and Patio for custom fireplaces, maintenance, outdoor grills, kitchens, fire pits, lighting, and so much more. Check out all of Hearth and Patio's options online at hearthpatiotallahassie.com. Hearth and Patio, they keep the home fires burning.
There's no doubt that buying a home can feel overwhelming, especially if it's your first home. You're worried about location, school zones, square footage, inspections, insurance, loan approvals, interest rates, and of course the price. Buying a home could be the most significant investment you've ever made. But there's good news. You have our friends at Legendary Home Loans, and they're on your side and in your corner. They're going to go to bat for you. Shannon Young from Legendary Home Loans can help first-time home buyers get up to $25,000 for your down payment. For first responders, veterans, teachers, military, and healthcare workers, and that's not all. Shannon is an expert navigator of the home loan terrain, and you can trust that he's going to get you the most competitive interest rates and guide you through the process every step of the way. Plus, Shannon will also get your closing costs reduced. It's the Hometown Heroes program at Legendary Home Loans. Give them a call today, 844-FSU-LOAN. That's 844-FSU-LOAN. Or go to FSUHomeLoans.com and ask for Shannon Young.
NMLS number 2270-146.
Here's a tip to keep it cool from E&B Heating and Air. Your outdoor unit works better if it's clean and clear of debris. Plants, grass, weeds, and trees can reduce performance, raising your power bill. Visit ENBHeatandAir.com to get a free quote today.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
There he is, Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. We weren't going to miss our segment. My man's a robust 32-15 this year, has been killing it back-to-back weeks. And Lee, it's always a pleasure, my brother. This is a fun college football season, man. It's wide open.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, I mean, your game last week, and also the Notre Dame game against Ohio State were lived up to the billing. So that's what it's all about. That's why we watch the games. That's why we love to bet on the games. And I don't think there's any game. I think maybe 1 out of 100 do I predict it the way it's going to start and the way it's going to end. It just doesn't happen that way.
It's been fun, too. I think, you're on a roll. I just documented that right now for your service. I'm on a roll, too, right now. We've been in agreement on a lot of these games, and it's kind of worked out our way. It's been a lot of fun. I had a good week last week, and I like this week's set of games. I was just looking at the list that you sent me, and right off the bat, I'm very intrigued because I wrestled with this game. Louisville giving 3 to NC State. It's the NC State defense, but not much of an offense, and Louisville's offense, which is really good, and an average defense. So this is a hard game for me to pick. How do you see it?
So what's interesting, 92% of the public is on Louisville. And when you see sometimes that, it's scary. But I just can't back Brennan Armstrong. I'm telling you this right now. I bet you if you timed him in the 40-yard dash, he went from a 4.7 to a 4.9. I think he slowed down. His arm looks worse. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback that in 4 years has gone from being really good to really bad. I mean, they don't complete anything down the field. Louisville's offense is really underrated. I mean, they have a couple guys, Jamari Thrash, another guy, Amari Higgins-Bruce. I mean, you got to cover both of these guys. And then Jordan, the running back, really good also. So I like what they're doing there. North Carolina State wins are going to have to get a bunch of turnovers. Louisville's going to have to be flat or going to have to get penalized 10, 12 times. I'll keep riding Louisville here. I think they win and cover 34-24.
I like it. All right, Kentucky and Florida seems like an even matchup to me. I think Florida's better than people give them credit for. I don't think they're great. I just think they're better than people thought they'd be after the Utah game. And I don't know what to think about Kentucky. This feels like a coin flip game. Depending on where you looked, Kentucky's a favorite by a point, 2 points. How do you see this game playing out?
Yeah, it started at 3 points, Kentucky. Now it's down to a point most places, and it's going to be tough. You know what? 2 nothing special offenses, 2 transfer quarterbacks. I think it might come down to an opportunistic defense. Kentucky, 8 turnovers from their defense. So they go for strips, and they don't want to be on the field that long, and maybe special teams. So maybe Devin Leary is going to finally have a game. I wouldn't say a great game, but a game where he comes out a little bit. He just does not look comfortable yet in this offense here. Chalk, though, is 7-2 against the spread in Wildcat games. Dog, on the other hand, what scares you is 16-3 in Florida games. But I think home field matters for something. Tough game here. I'll take Kentucky 24-20.
Notre Dame's in a tough spot here. They're coming off an emotional loss, a game that they could have won, obviously, and then a brutal ending where you have 10 guys on the field not once but twice, which is inexcusable, and they've had to answer questions.
Wait, Jeff, who is the defensive coordinator? Does it shock you?
I know.
Al Golden.
I know. Poor Al's taking a beating this week as he should, but man, that's tough. And that's the thing with new coaches too, in terms of Marcus Freeman. Like, that's not going to happen in year 6, but it can happen now, which is nuts. I mean, there are a lot of people that falls on. The defensive coordinator falls on the head coach, falls on the middle linebacker who usually counts guys. I mean, it's kind of silly to think it could happen in that situation, but there it does, and they lose a heartbreaker. And now they're going to play a really good Duke team who is extremely well coached and plays good defense. I think it's a tough spot game to be given 5.5 or 6. What do you see it as?
And I love Sam Hartman. I think he's really good. I think he's a good passer, good leader. But I think Riley Leonard's better. Add the running aspect to his game. He's not a good runner, a great runner. You look at him, you're like, oh, okay. He's big, he's strong, he's really fast, good vision, and underrated passer and an amazing leader. His team believes in him. Now, I don't know about that. Didn't give him the extension after they beat Clemson. I don't think he's buying in, but I think Duke's defense is also for real here. Mike Elko, I mean, one of the best defensive coordinators when he was with Notre Dame and Texas A&M. Sam Hartman played this Duke defense last year, and Duke beat him and sacked him 3 times here. Duke also 12-4 against the spread at home. Pretty tough home team here. Wrong team favorite. Duke outright 23-20.
You and I see it the same way. Fun game. All right, in the NFL, buddy. Jackson. I'm sorry, Lee, I missed you.
No, it's crazy. We're seeing everything. It's been like that almost every single week on the show.
Yeah, we've had a couple of disagreements. For the most part, we've been eye to eye on these things, and it's fun. I like it when we disagree. I like it when we agree. It's fun just to see if we're thinking and seeing the same things. Right. Jacksonville's given 3 to Atlanta. I don't understand this game. These are 2 average-ass teams, and neither are bad, but neither are real good. I just don't know why Jacksonville's given 3. I'm staying away from this game personally. It's over in London, right? This is not a game I would touch. But if you had to bet it, would you lay the 3 with Jacksonville?
Believe it or not, I would, only because of the matchup. I think Jacksonville the last couple of weeks has been awful. They do one thing really well. They stop the run. Yeah. Number 8 in the NFL in stopping the run. So sometimes it's about the matchup. I mean, they just are not clicking at all. Their talent does not match the output right now. So, I mean, the problem here also, Desmond Ridder just doesn't push the ball down the field. I mean, you got some really good receivers. One very good outside receiver, one of the best tight ends in Pitts, and they're just not utilizing them enough. So I think eventually you're going to see Jacksonville put it together. I don't know if this is the week they put it together, but maybe on the road they bond. Sometimes that happens. I'll take Jacksonville. I think they win 27-20.
Probably one of the early games of the year is next on the slate here. Lee, tell me about Miami. Tell me about that city going crazy for a team that is lovable and fun to watch and just dropped 70 on Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, and how funny that was to watch play out, because I hate both those guys. I thought it was hilarious, but I do admire and enjoy watching this Miami Dolphin football team. And now here we go against Buffalo. Buffalo's laying the points. This could be a truly great game.
I don't use the word hate often. I would say dislike. I have a huge dislike for both those guys because Sean Payton's so smug. I mean, whenever you hire a guy from the broadcast booth, how many times does it work out? Almost never. And Russell Wilson, the dude is weird, strange. Like someone said one time, wouldn't you like to meet the guy? I'm like, no, I have no interest in meeting a guy like that. Strange dude. I don't think his teammates connect with him. I don't think when he left Seattle, anyone's going, oh, we're without Russell. Look at they picked up right where they left off. They're better now. This is going to be a fun game. Now, the first game last year was maybe one of the strangest games. Buffalo more than doubled Miami in yardage. Miami wins 21-19, I think the final score was. And then the last 2 games, Buffalo wins by 3, and then 3 again in the playoffs. Miami had nothing. Skylar Thompson, third-string quarterback, was playing. They were down like 8-9 starters. Miami somehow hung in there. I think Miami's offense may be just too good. If the weather was bad, maybe I could see Buffalo. The forecast is mid-70s, Jeff, and sunny. I checked for the chance of rain. It says 0%. You don't see that often. So it's going to be perfect for Miami. I think the Buffalo defense is down a couple notches here. No Von Miller. I think their safeties have lost a couple, maybe a half step, a step here. And if you lose a half step, you're in trouble against this team, Miami team. If you lose a step, it's good night, Irene. They have how they clock guys as far as speed once they catch the ball when they're running with the ball? The 4 fastest guys. I mean, that's scary with Waddle, Hill, Mostert, and kid from Texas A&M. So I just think that Miami's the right side here. I'll take the 3. Maybe the last team with the ball wins. I like Miami 38-35.
Should be a fun game. I think everybody's going to want to watch this game. It's a huge game. Your free play of the week is a fun one, too. It's Georgia giving double digits, 15, in fact, to Auburn. And how can folks get that game? And also, you got a big promotion going on right now that is very affordable for everybody. I just saw it. Were we about to launch into October here?
That's it. It's here. Not October. We call it October. You can get 5 weeks of games from today all the way through Halloween night. 5 weeks of action. You're going to get probably 11 to 14 games a week. We're on a 26-10 run the last 3 weeks. We are 32-15 on the year. You want to get everything. If you've been trying it on your own, a lot of people try everything on their own at first, see how that works out. If that's not working out for you, or maybe you hired like one of these underwear cappers, on Twitter, that you paid $25 for a week or two, and then his account disappears, I got a story last week. Some guy called me. He says, I paid this guy and I can't find him anymore. I said, well, does he have a website? He goes, I don't think so. Instagram or TikTok even? No. I said, well, probably out of luck. You might want to kiss your $25 goodbye. I mean, do you go to a dentist or a doctor for a $25 a week guy? So this is our 30th year. I study these games all day, all night here. 347 for 5 weeks of action. Use coupon code SAVE100. Love to have everyone along for the ride. One place, ParamountSports.com.
Lee, always a pleasure, brother. I'm glad you hopped on early this week. Normally we do this Friday, but you made room for me on FSU's bye week. I appreciate that. Be well, good sir. Enjoy the football and keep rolling because we're seeing things eye to eye right now, and I like it. We're both winning big here. Take care.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com.
Your next chance to splash into some cash with Swain Pools and Spas to win $1,000 is coming up at 2 p.m. Listen out for the keyword, and all you got to do is text the keyword for a chance to win $1,000.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu. Mm-hmm. Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The bungalow chung, Jeff.
Is that what is the pork?
The bungalow chung, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of that nobody would know and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
So I looked it up. Well, hold on. Before I get to the next story, which is absurd, I will recap for those of you who missed the tail end. Lee Sterling, who, by the way, went last week, I think 3-1-1 for us in the games that he utilized here. Don't mistake a couple of things. The games he chooses to go over with us, and each of the last few weeks he's had a good record with that, are not necessarily the games that he gives out nationally. He's on all over the country. He does regional hits, and he tries to pick games that might be of interest within that region. So you're going to often see Jacksonville or Atlanta when we talk about the NFL, or Miami or Tampa Bay or New Orleans. But it may not be a game that he feels strongly about playing for his national service. Just kind of fun to take a side for these games He'll do the same typically with college football. He has Florida. He has Florida State. He often has Miami. If he's got a feeling one way or the other, but it may not be a game that he feels strongly enough, convicted enough to pick for his national service. So as he would tell you, I think to get those games, you would have to sign up, and that's your prerogative, whether you want to or not. I just find it entertaining to have some fun and some give and take with him. By the way, his free play of the week was Georgia minus 15 and Auburn. If you wanted that game, ParamountSports.com. All right, so I saw this story and I rolled my eyes and I laughed, but it made me look something up. I don't know if you guys saw this. It's not football. It's an aside, but it's an interesting aside. A Philadelphia Phillies fan and his emotional support animal, an ESA, as it's known in the business, were denied entrance to the game against the Pirates, Philadelphia's game against the Pirates yesterday. And you might think, well, that's insensitive. Why would you not allow for that? We've come a long way now where people have their emotional support animals. You might think it's a little odd, but, it might be a thing that some people need. And within reason, we could allow that, right? Theirs was an alligator. It was a 5-foot alligator. The fan, identified by the Philadelphia Inquirer as Joey, Joie, so I don't know if that's Joey or Joey Henry. Oh, check that, Henny, arrived at Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philadelphia walking Wally, the alligator, on a leash. It is about a 5-foot alligator, so, not tiny. The stadium's policy on support animals, according to the Phillies' official website, is that certified service dogs, or service dogs in training for guests with special needs are in fact welcome, but all other animals are prohibited. So you can't have an ESA cat, you can't have an ESA bird, at least not at that ballpark. You can have a dog. You get a dog. We'll give you a dog, all right? That's what you get. You get a dog and nothing else. Seems right for this country, right? And it's not a knock. I get it. So I went and looked to see, I wonder if the law excludes some of this. The law does not exclude any particular kind of animal from becoming an ESA, so a support animal. And then I thought, well, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What if I have a support polar bear? What if I have a support lion, a support cheetah, a support, I don't know, cassowary? Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Also, I wanted to know, I get the value of pets. I love dogs. I love cats. I love animals. Love them. I think they provide material and appreciable value to our lives. And you look it up and you wonder how it works in this capacity, meaning the social support or whatever it is. Emotional comfort, beneficial actions for individuals with needs. Emotional support animals can play an essential role in mental health treatment plans. Animals that are well suited for the job can make a real difference in their owners. Yeah, an alligator's not well suited for the job, man. An alligator is a dinosaur. An alligator is well suited to kill you. And dinosaur will kill you once it has the opportunity to kill you. A reptile of this nature would as well. Why do emotional support animals work, you might say? Well, they provide people someone to talk to. They help provide physical affection. An alligator is not providing physical affection. Animals require love and attention, so do human beings. I don't think alligators do. Doesn't seem to me that they do. You pair them together like you do a dog, and it seems to me that the physical affection and companionship are not the same that you would get with a dog. And in fact, here's what I'm really looking forward to if we're being honest about this. Joey, Joie, Henny, there in Philadelphia that has said pet alligator. Do you think that alligator is going to stop growing? I don't. I think that alligator is going to keep growing. You'll probably keep it enclosed and feed it well. And I might ask, what are you feeding it? Anyhow, that said, my guess is that thing is going to get big. And here's what I hope. I hope, as I have noted before, that nature wants to kill you. I hope it does here. How great would it be if in 2 years on the Jeff Cameron Show, we're reading the article that talked about the person that got denied access to Citizens Bank Ballpark with their emotional support animal, the alligator known as Wally. 2-3 years from now is the alligator that kills Joey. How awesome would that be? I know it's cruel to root for death, but I have to tell you that is bizarre, and I'm rooting for it. And it's something I wanted to bring to your attention because nature wants to kill you. You have to be careful which of these you align. Accounts linked to Wally, I might add, you can find online. It's an Instagram account, Wally Gator in Joey. So that would be WALLYGATORNJOIE. 26,000 followers for this Gator. TikTok account, Wally the Alligator, 100,000 followers. Is denied entry drew comparisons to the curse of the Billy Goat, which involved the Chicago Cubs. In 1945, William Cianis put a curse on the Cubs when he and his goat were denied entry into the World Series game at Wrigley Field. Outraged at not being able to watch his beloved Cubs and to bring his goat into the stands at Wrigley, he put a curse on them, saying they would not win a World Series. And of course, they did not play in another World Series to Chicago for 71 years. The curse, as we well know, in part because of our friend David Ross here locally, was broken in 2016, and they celebrated their first championship in 108 years. The Phillies have had no such curse, and if they lose in this postseason, I might add, it will not be because of this curse, but we can hope that Joey is killed and cursed, if you will, by having a pet alligator. Okay, so there's that. And then finally, I would follow it up with this, as we're doing non-football segments. We did find out, unfortunately for us, and I do think it's necessary to bring it up ever so briefly, that the Florida State basketball schedule is out. And it feels like they're cursed too. Obviously, the football winds have been blowing. The Noles are sitting at 4-0 in the top 5. And then we don't particularly want to talk about basketball, but I love Coach Hamilton and I love basketball. And I would say coming off of last year's 9-23 campaign, that's right, they went 9-23, 7-13 in the ACC, which frankly, after doing so poorly in their non-conference, going 7-13 in the ACC seemed like a hell of a turnaround. 9-23, on the other hand, was not. And as for Florida State, that record was one of the worst of all time. A staggering 2-9 in the non-conference, by the way. Ended their season before they got into the bulk of the ACC schedule, as we well know. And they had losses to Stetson and Troy and Siena. I had to go look all this up again today to point this out. The non-conference schedule for the upcoming season seems to be even easier. One opponent coming off an NCAA tournament appearance, that was Kennesaw State. They won the Atlantic Sun. They were number 14 seed in the Midwest Regional. They scared Xavier, who was the 3 seed in the opening round. And you have 2 major non-conference matchups and non-ACC games in Florida and Georgia. If you play Richmond instead of Colorado in the final round of the Sunshine Slam, then you end up playing 5 major non-conference opponents in non-ACC matchups like they did a year ago, going 0-5 in those matchups. This year's weak non-conference will prevent FSU from getting in that large berth in the NCAA, and that's what we have to hope for. Just point this out one last time. I'm crossing my fingers for him. I hope a lot of things change. You need Primo Spears to be eligible. You have to have better guard play somehow, some way. Last year, Leonard Hamilton obviously had the problems of having a player ruled largely ineligible for much of the season, and then guys get hurt, coupled with really not a good mix of guys. I mean, I don't know what to expect from Chandler Jackson and Jalen Worley here. Darren Green is a 3-point shooter who doesn't defend. They brought in a 2-time transfer and Josh Nickelberry from he's been at LaSalle and Louisville. Got to see what he is. And then again, we don't know if Primo Spears is going to be eligible. So there is that. You got exhibition games on consecutive Sundays, Flagler and Valdosta State prior to the season opener against Kennesaw State. We shall see. Leonard Hamilton is a legend here and has been a great man and a great coach for this program, but he is the oldest head coach in Division I. He turned 75 in August. If Florida State were to have a disastrous campaign, as they did a year ago, which was the lowest winning percentage in a season for the program since Florida State finished 5-20 in 1951-52, then you might think that would be it, a swan song for the man. I am rooting for you, Coach. I am rooting for a turnaround. Florida State, actually, this city is a lot more fun to be in when basketball season rolls in and we all go over to the TLC and we watch a product that's a lot of fun. But I have to say, this doesn't feel necessarily like it's going to be that. And because of that, I'm greatly concerned that this will be it. This will be it. Let's hope I'm wrong. Let's hope that Florida State can once again win some basketball games. It doesn't necessarily feel like that is going to be the case. All right, hour number 2 forthcoming. Did it up like I said I would. Have mom's picks coming in. Also, red zone stuff that we do normally on Friday. And then, of course, solving for the future, which for Florida State, as I said earlier this hour, you might have solved for the future with the return of Darrell Jackson in the postseason that allows a real rotation of devastating depth and talent in games against, top 4 clubs. Anybody that gets there is going to be a good football team and presumably have a good offensive line. I think, like you, this bye week, which is now almost over, is one that you hope sees them integrate the slot receivers, more of the middle of the field. And obviously, if he's able to, because he's gotten healthy, you need to see some of Jordan Travis's legs to boot, which haven't really been there throughout the season. All right, Jeff Cameron Show, hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
Hey guys, our next partner is AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it quite literally every single day. I began using AG1 because I'll be honest with you, I don't like to take a bunch of pills and vitamins, and I just wanted something that tastes great, was quick, and easy to remember. So I do it. I do it every morning when I wake up. I certainly have it right after my coffee and before I work out. And I will tell you this too, it is a simple, effective investment for your health. You can try AG1 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs and a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/JCS. Again, that's all you got to do is go to drinkag1.com/JCS. That's drinkag1.com/JCS. Check it out. It's delicious. It's quick. It's easy. It's proven. Vitamins, probiotics, whole food source nutrients. Start your day with it. You'll feel better. I promise.
Really proud of that nobody would know and that you could share with us here.
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Tired of living with chronic joint pain from arthritis or injury? Stop with the steroids and pain meds and don't have surgery until you check out regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
These therapies can help the body have long-term relief of your pain.
Meet Dr. Justin Garzone, medical director at QC Kinetics.
We use your body's own healing properties, highly concentrate them, and then use that to restore and repair the damaged tissues in your joints.
This is a cutting-edge natural solution from local medical professionals.
We have a team of medical assistants, physician assistants, nurse practitioners, and physicians that are trained specifically just to do regenerative medicine.
And Dr. Garzone speaks from personal experience. Before joining the QC Kinetics team, he was an actual patient.
I am now pain-free.
You too can get lasting relief from joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 850-391-4280. That's 850-391-4280. 850-391-4280.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Don't go anywhere. Your chance to win $1,000 is coming up next on Real Talk 93.3 WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Exergen thermometers are more accurate than non-contact thermometers. As your children return to school, keeping them healthy is important. Clinical studies have proven that non-contact thermometers can miss fevers due to inaccuracies. Accuracy matters. That's why Exergen is trusted and used by medical professionals. Exergen is available at Walmart and Walgreens, so you can have a trusted and accurate thermometer for personal use. Learn more about why accuracy matters at Exergen.com.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and heart. We don't ever quit until we've got nothing left to give. Our team is unstoppable. Want a guaranteed win? Call T-Spark Enterprises for your next roofing or construction project. We conquer all peaks. T-SparkConstruction.com. License number CCC 1331204.
Power Mill Training Academy equips motivated athletes focused on baseball and softball with the specific tools to reach their true potential. Now, you'll read that if you go to their website, but I'm here to tell you that, look, whether it's your daughter wanting to play softball, your son wants to play baseball, or maybe they just want to have fun and get the most out of their abilities, and that's where Power Mill comes into play. They've got coaches and camps that teach for every level of play for your son or your daughter. To learn more, go to PowerMillSports.com.
It's time to splash into cash with Swain Pools and Spas. Here is your next keyword.
Paid. P-A-I-D. Paid. P-A-I-D. Paid.
Text that keyword now to 508-777-1000. That's 508-777-1000 for your chance to win $1,000. Sponsored by Swain Pools and Spas.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV, and Redemption Thursday rolls on. If you missed the picks, I'll get to them momentarily in a bit. We'll do Red Zone, we'll do Solving for the Future, we'll do Probables, the picks as they look. Metro Deli, thank you, by the way. I don't see why not. We got 10. I went straight up normal this week, guys, instead of player props, which continue to be victorious. First half totals, game totals, all that good stuff. By the way, last week, one of my first half totals covered by a half point. You know you're living right, baby. Anyhow, Oregon State given the 3.5. I don't think Cam Rising's going to play for Utah. I like Oregon State. Louisville minus 3.5 against NC State. BYU plus 2 against Cincinnati. Southern Cal given 21.5 to Colorado. The beatdowns continue for Colorado. That'll be good. Clemson minus 6.5 against Syracuse. Arkansas plus 6 against Texas A&M. Georgia minus 14.5 against Auburn. Mizzou minus 13.5 against Vandy. LSU laying 2.5 against a dysfunctional bunch at Ole Miss. Duke plus 5.5 against Notre Dame. Kind of looking for the upset, maybe even on the money line. I'm kind of curious about something. And again, as I said, we got mom's wagers coming up, all that good stuff, everything. It's all on the table. Curious about the renovation in Tallahassee at Doak Campbell Stadium and what's going to happen. I was reading an article, and of course, I think it's on the mind of a lot of people who have season tickets and are either being relocated or being forced out of their seats or kind of, I think there's frustrations out there. I also think there's an understanding that the environment for college football has changed dramatically. I think we know that maybe less is more these days in certain locations, especially. And I think that even if Florida State gets back to a dominant form that they once lived at for nearly 2 decades, that 70,000 makes more sense than 83,000, and perhaps 60,000 makes more sense than 70,000. If what you're sacrificing is in total number of seats, you're adding in amenities, because that is really the thing that is going to allow for people to consistently still come out. Yes, the live atmosphere cannot be replicated at home, but it seems that the comfort and the ability to see the game clearly is one that has overridden the need to be there in person and feel the adrenaline. At least 4 lesser tier games, and the truth is, you're only playing 4 games, maybe 5, maybe at best a year, that is going to see everybody want to come out. And so I think you're seeing a lot of teams do this. In fact, don't know if you saw this, but Memorial Stadium there in Nebraska, where the fan base is diehard and there's nothing else to do, is also getting a facelift and changing. A planned $450 million renovation will come with seating reduction, according to Trev Alberts. He said this to the Nebraska athletics director and former all-world player there, noted that they're going to add chair backs to the east, west, and south stadium sides. It will lower the capacity a bit. Quote, the reality is, if you look at putting in the modern amenities that our fans would like, the physical structure of Memorial Stadium remains the same, but you're going to have a 10 to 12% reduction in capacity based on widening aisles, putting handrails out there, doing the things from ADA and other things that I think a stadium in 2023 really demands. Those renovations are going to move forward, and they're going to add to it a 360-degree main level concourse connection, as well as a 270-degree upper level concourse connection, and it allows fans more mobility, etc. You know, we talk about this all the time at Florida State. They got to do so much better with amenities and the internet, for example, the scoreboard, for example, and what's on said scoreboard. Now, they seem to have solved the problems around here regarding the entry to the stadium. Things have gone smoothly. Now, we'll see. They got a 3-game home stretch coming up that'll really test how smoothly the operation runs. But soon it's going to be upheaval. Soon it's going to be kind of weird. And I was just thinking to myself, in the ever-changing world of college football and the need to win the arms race and what we see when we talk about NIL and we talk about roster retention and player acquisition and the amazing work that the Battle's End has done, you know, you get the sense that there's a lot that is transforming, that is changing, that is going to be discussed within the next 6 months to a year. And I think Florida State will always have a hard time keeping up. It is still one of the younger universities when you look at the all-time pillars of college football. Florida State is in the pantheon, the legends of the programs that make up college football's hierarchy. And they've had to do it in a very short period of time. But because of that, they don't have the alumni base that some of the other bigger schools do. And when you don't have that generational alumni base year over year, decade over decade over decade over decade that goes back over 100 years, then you're missing out on funds. And this leads to the kinds of problems we've seen in the past, which is coaches, Jimbo Fisher namely, and others asking for more amenities, wanting better facilities to try to keep up with those that they're tasked with competing with. It is trying to figure out a balance between those things that coaches want, but also the amenities and I think the facelift that the stadium needs. And where does your money go, whether that's to the Battle's End or some people would say the boosters. I certainly think that so far what we've learned with the Battle's End, if you like a talented roster and the ability to compete at a high level and want to do that moving forward, you've got an elite group that's done a very good job with that. Personally, that's the route I would go, but not everybody agrees with that, and I'm not going to tisk anybody who doesn't. But I do think we're going to see a clash, and I won't be surprised. I'm just putting this out there now because I hear these rumblings behind the scenes, and when you talk to people and you piece all this stuff together, you can start to kind of, I think, write the story of what's going to happen next. Maybe not exactly. Maybe the timetable will be a little off. But I think you can see fan frustration build. I think you can see coaches' frustrations build. I think you have a very aggressive athletic director, thank goodness, who finally has total autonomy, as many athletic directors here in the most recent past have not had, to make big decisions. And those big decisions will have a huge impact on the next 50 years of Florida State football, 40 years of Florida State football, and the way that looks and how it gets done. It might have a major impact on what players end up at Florida State, what coaches stay at Florida State, which coaches go, all of that stuff. It's all in play. How the stadium looks, everything from these artist renderings and all that we look at. I think we are in changing times. It is a very fluid situation. And while we are all rightfully hyper-focused on this season and the success Florida State's having, you're going to begin to hear about the other stuff. And I know I say that almost with a tone that's ominous. I don't mean it to be, but change in general is hard. And when you are going through a lot of change, what's prioritized and what pecking order things get done has an effect on groups of people, whether it's fans, alumni, boosters, athletic directors, coaches, players, and to what degree that effect takes hold and changes the outlook, good or bad, is dictated by what's prioritized. So I find it all fascinating. I also find it interesting that we still have lots of people. We see this on the boards. I see this in emails. I see this on social media. And I think it's a right question to ask. It's something that people have wondered about. You know, we've heard so much about this football-only facility and the magnitude of the build, and it's coming and it's going to happen. We saw the shovels in the ground. We saw the pictures. We haven't seen anything else. Maybe it's going to happen tomorrow. Maybe things begin next week or next month or after the season. Maybe they begin a year from now. Maybe they don't. Maybe monies are shifted. I don't know. You don't get the sense that this is in a good place in terms of moving forward with that facility and the finances necessary to do that. At least that's not the sense that I get. This is not to troublemaker. This is to merely point out that I think we're going to be talking about big picture stuff in the coming days and months, probably more towards the end of the season, because right now, Florida State is 4-0, undefeated, and in a prime position to win this conference for the first time in a long time, and obviously nearly 10 years, and a position to make the college football playoff. That will always take precedent over any of the other stuff on the periphery. But the stuff on the periphery matters, and it matters to fans, and it matters to our pocketbooks, and it matters to the success of Florida State and what that looks like moving forward. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3, Real Talk Radio, and Warchant TV. We'll come back for more in a moment.
This is Tyler from Bear No Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere.
Save big time in the new year and get $1,200 off select new units.
Online at BearNoAC.com. Quarter license CAC 1816-186.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Someone who thought texting was a better idea than stopping for a traffic light slams into your rear bumper. Now your back is injured and you've got to be at work and rehab all without a car. I'm Jimmy Fasig at Fasig Brooks. We hear stories like this every day. You shouldn't pay for someone else's mistake. Call us at 850-777-7777 and we'll make sure you come back stronger.
The leaves are starting to fall, the temperatures will start to fall, and the prices are falling right now at Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas. Incredible dealer discounts up to $5,000 are available on all hot spring spas, the industry leader in hot tubs and spas. If you've never experienced the sensation and relaxation of having your own hot tub in your backyard on a cool evening, you're truly missing out. The cold months are coming, and now's the time to set yourself up for the best winter season you've ever had. Plus, you'll gain the added health benefits of reduced stress, relief of sore muscles, and better sleep. You'll feel so relaxed after a nice soak in your new hot spring spa. You'll experience some of the best sleep of your life. Head over to Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road and check out their huge showroom packed with the best selection of hot tubs and spas available. And ask about getting up to $5,000 in discount, low interest financing, and a free accessory to make your hot tub dreams come true. If you're ready to relax, Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas is ready to show you how.
Hey y'all, my name is Sierra, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the spicy chicken biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
When your people are ready, your business is ready. Cintas makes sure they have what they need to perform their best. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, fire protection systems that are tested and inspected, first aid and safety supplies, floor mats, or cleaning tools and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together, so visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Jeff Cameron Show, Redemption Thursday, and we're combining Redemption Thursday with Libations Friday. And I don't want to screw this up. I want to make sure we get all our sponsors in. And as always, you support the people that support us. It makes things possible for all parties involved to win. Symbiotic relationship, right? We're all winning here, we hope. It's kind of like Charlie Sheen, I guess. Anyhow, this next one is the Red Zone, and we do it every Friday. Today, we're doing it on a Thursday. I will say this. Tom's done a really good job with the montage. Let's hear that montage, and then I'll tell you all about our friends at Artisan. Do it up. Let's go. Cue it up.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
The elegance.
To win the game. Oh, it hits the upright. It's no good.
You have entered.
Someone burned down the funeral home. You burned the funeral home.
Lives will be changed.
Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Mothers will cry.
When you see your players get all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough.
Legacies are etched into eternity.
North South Dakota was his brother from West Virginia.
This is the Red Zone.
That's pretty good.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
Just keep it going. It is the Red Zone. We all know how important it is to score in the Red Zone. But are you prepared for success in the retirement Red Zone? The 5 years leading up to your retirement date and the immediate 5 years after are, of course, a critical time of thoughtful planning for you and your family. And our friend and fellow Knoll, I might add, Adam Tolliver and his team at Artisan Financial Strategies are prepared to coach you to victory. Some of us, maybe we're just at midfield, want to plan ahead. Others, ready to punch it in. You're down on the goal line. So whether that's making sure you know how much you can spend without running out of money, protecting yourself and your family against rising healthcare costs, or carefully planning your legacy, the Artisan team brings a combined 30-plus years of planning experience and world-class resources to help you navigate the way. That's what we want. For more information, make sure you head on over to knollretirement.com. That's knollretirement.com. All one word. We love it. These guys are great at what they do. Go check them out. Now, Tom is on vacation, so we bring my man Ben in, who you see from time to time. He's Mr. Everything. I think you're kind of making your JCS debut here. Ben, welcome in, buddy.
It is, yeah. I'm going to have to mark this down, September 28th, 2023. One of the monumental moments in my career. I'm excited to be on the wildly popular Jeff Cameron Show. This is awesome.
Well, you have the proper reverence. You're off to a good start. I'm really proud of you for that right off the bat. All right, now, I don't know. Let's hope he did his due diligence. If you're going to make your guest appearance, your first appearance on the show, I hope you're prepared. Did Tom Lang, the esteemed producer that is Tom Lang sends you the proper red zone questions to posit to me?
Yeah, I've got 4 questions for you here. So whenever you want to get rolling, we can chop it up.
All right, let's do it. Let's figure it out. I never know what he's going to ask me, so I am kind of intrigued here. What is question 1, Ben, for the red zone? Here we go.
Well, we're putting you out there on the ledge to get started. True or false, a one-loss ACC champion Florida State is a lock for the college football playoff?
I'm going to say false. And the reason that I'm going to say false is you have a lot of like teams, and it seems to me that Florida State just got done winning a game on the road against Clemson that wasn't all that well thought of. In fact, Florida State has the 2 best wins in the country, and they sit at number 5. So it seems to me that if you're to drop one along the way, that you're going to fall somewhere in the neighborhood of 7-10. And we are not in the 12-game playoff these days. We're in the 4-team playoff, 12-team playoff. We're in a 4-team playoff. So I don't think that Florida State can guarantee. He said lock. So I don't think it's a lock. Do I think Florida State could be one of the one-loss teams that makes the college football playoff? I do. It depends on who you lose to, when you lose to them, and what that final score is. If you were to lose a road game or by 3, say at Pitt, and then you dominated the other games and you have the wins under your belt against Clemson and also LSU. Also, don't forget this, guys. We become, as Florida State fans, some of the biggest fans of both LSU and Clemson now the rest of the way. Every time LSU plays, Ben, I got to tell you, I'm rooting for them, and I don't care about LSU one way or the other, but I have to root for them. When they were on the ropes last week against Arkansas, I was a little nervous. You don't need LSU going out here losing 4 or 5 times. And Clemson already has 2 losses, albeit one of them to us. You don't need them going out there and losing 2 or 3 more times. Don't let this loss to Florida State become 2 losses by going on the road and losing to Syracuse, which has been a nightmare place for Clemson to play. We need those teams to continue to play well, and then Florida State's resume is only strengthened. So on first down, I like the question, but I'm here to say that 11-1 is not a lock to go to the college football playoff, although it's also not guaranteed that you'd be excluded from the college football playoff. Next, second down, what do we got?
All right, another true or false question for you. Defensive coordinator Adam Fuller has done a good job this year. True or false?
Wow, that is an awesome question. You have stumped me. You have stumped me, Tom Lang. I like the question. Ben, I didn't expect that one. I'm torn on this, guys. I am torn on this. I am just as frustrated as everybody else with the way that games start for this defense. They have had a real hard time coming out the gates and becoming the team that we see they are after they adjust at halftime. You feel like at some point, if you continue to come out and allow opposing quarterbacks to have their best game against you, which is what happened with Boston College, which is what just happened last weekend at Clemson. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating. You feel like that'll catch up to you at some point. And you'll lose a football game. There will be a total that you can't come back from, or there will be a backbreaking play that you can't come back from. That said, and while he's done a poor job with that, Florida State does stop the run very well. They've been very good in red zone defense. And I think they may have just uncovered who they are after this last game, after these last 2 games, which is a very aggressive defense that should play man and get after the quarterback. You look at the pressure rate from the first half to the second half last weekend. They went from 10% pressure rate in the first half to over 40%. And I'm talking about called blitzes, called pressures. That is a more effective use of our personnel. So I guess to some degree I would say no, he has not, because you can come out the gates looking like this, but it hasn't been a total flop. I guess I'm fence sitting here. I'll say no with the caveat that I think he is going to do a good job the rest of the way. We'll see if we can get off the field on third down. I like that. That was a good question. What is third down?
We've gotten past our true or false questions now. So here on third down, the unexpected hero of post-bye week Florida State is blank.
An unexpected hero. Who do I suspect? Well, I will tell you this. I think you're going to see the emergence of the slot receivers or slot tight ends even. I think that's going to be more of what they do in the middle of the field. I think they have opportunities. I guess I'll say Jaheim Bell, and that would be an expected hero, though. He's already having a good year, and when he's been given opportunity, he's been great. Maybe I'll say you could say Marqueston Douglas or Destin Hill. One of these guys who's going to man that role and have an opportunity to start really contributing in the passing game in the way of receptions. Destin Hill is too talented. Winston Wright is serviceable, is probably a plus player. These are guys that are not getting opportunities right now because either we're not looking in the middle of the field or we're not calling their number in terms of total snaps. It's an interesting time for this offense. They have been nothing close to as good as they can be, and yet they do have these two very significant wins. So if Jordan starts running, you'll start to see things open up a little bit as they get healthy and they get more comfortable with some of these guys in the middle of the field. I'm going to have to side with a player like Destin Hill, I guess that's the right answer, because as of right now, with how little they've used him, it would be unexpected. So I'll go with Destin Hill to that answer. I think he has a chance to make a bunch of plays in the middle of the field, and right now we haven't been looking for him. That's a fun one. All right, 4th down. We're in the red zone. We've been very efficient, by the way, in the red zone, not only in my answers today, which have been spectacular, and Ben's delivery to these questions have also been fantastic. Tom, in absentia, has been very, very good. Director Matthews behind the scenes running things, and he's kicking ass. The JCS, all in all today, very, very efficient. And if you're referencing Florida State, they too have been very, very efficient. What are they, 17 of 17 in the red zone? 14 of those are touchdowns. We always say when you get down to the red zone, it's not about field goals, but Fitzy's been very, very good. It is about touchdowns. They've scored 14 of them. That's a good sign. 4th down, here we go. It's the big one.
As efficient as we've been today, I'm surprised the defense has gotten us to 4th down, Jeff. So this is another tough one. And, Florida State's trying to get that ground game rolling. So Tom leaves you with this one on 4th down. Who are Florida State's 2 leading rushers next week against Virginia Tech?
Against Virginia Tech, Trey Benson will once again, I think, lead the way in rushing, and then I'll say Rodney Hill. I think they'll give those two guys the bulk of the carries. I don't think it'll be Lawrence Toafili. I think he's more effective in the passing game, and I'm pretty sure that they're still not going to run Jordan Travis next week. I think that if you can avoid him having to run the ball and still be efficient on offense against a bad Virginia Tech team. That's not a good team, guys. I know I said that about Boston College, but Castellanos is going to be a problem for people this year. I don't think Virginia Tech has much. So if you can get out to a good lead and really hand the ball off to your top 2 backs, I think Rodney Hill's kind of emerged now as one of those guys. So I would say Trey Benson's still your number 1, and Rodney Hill might be your number 2 now. In time, Jordan Travis will be the answer to that question. I think he's going to start running more once they get him healthy. But right now, you need him to rest and get right. It'll be interesting to see also if they kind of jumble some things with this offensive line. They haven't up to now. Once again, I want to remind you guys, and Ben, you're kicking ass here today. That was good. I'm glad you jumped in and really came through big time. This has been, of course, the Red Zone that we do every week, which is, again, brought to you by our friends at Artisan Financial Strategies. If you want to learn more about what they do, I know we have fun in this segment, but it's an important part of your life, making sure that your finances are in order, making sure that you've appropriately allocated these finances for your future. Go check out KnollRetirement.com. That's all one word, KnollRetirement.com. That's it, Ben. You did good, buddy. You can wipe yourself out of here. That's a good debut. I'm proud of you. Well done, sir. We might even have you back someday. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Coming up next, my mother. It's time to wager. I won both bets last week. Even things up. All is right with the world. I had to track her down early this morning to get these picks ready. She obliged, and she's on video this time around, although it's grainy because she's using a computer from like 87. It's coming up next. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology.
As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The pan con lechon, Jeff?
Is that what is the pork?
The pan con lechon, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All of these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of that nobody would know and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
All right, it's that time of the week, and we didn't want the week to go by without having Mama on the show to get caught up as we're wont to do. Normally, it's a Libations Friday episode, but today is serving as such, both a Redemption Thursday and Libations Friday, because I'm off tomorrow. It's Florida State's bye week, and Tom took it to Disney World. I'm going to take it to the golf course, and we're going to catch our breath for the remainder of the season as we have a whirlwind schedule. But A, I couldn't do this without talking to Mom, and B, why wouldn't I want to? Because I won both the games, Mom, that we had different last week.
I know you did. I told you I should not have picked Atlanta. I don't know why I did. And anyway, that was one of the ones. And then the other game we had different. What was the other one? I don't even remember. I don't have it in front of me here. Wait, maybe I do.
I think, yes.
The Green Bay game. Green Bay, New Orleans. And that was a one-pointer. Holy smokes.
Yeah, in fairness to you, you kind of were in both those. I mean, you had a chance, I suppose.
I know.
I know. Well, that's all right.
Now we're even. We're like back at the beginning again.
Dead even on the season and some tough games to choose from. So I'm going to get started. In full disclosure, I had my mom record this in the morning. So we are both ill-prepared, but you've had time now, about 20 minutes to look at the schedule. I'm going to do the same. We got a game tonight we can pick. A lot of times we miss these games on Thursday, and then we just have to trust each other on Friday.
I know.
All right.
Well, I have got Green Bay.
I'm going to take Green Bay as well.
Okay.
And that is Detroit versus Green Bay, and it is a great game. But I think, once again, unfortunately, Mother, the Packers have fallen into another good quarterback.
I know. Well, I think he's going to be really good. You're right. And he was good last week. I mean, well, in the beginning, isn't that the game where they didn't start out so good?
They were terrible for 3 quarters.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, it was like the light went on, and they were really good. Well, and of course, then that was New Orleans. Derek Carr got hurt, right?
Yeah, but their defense gave it up late. That's all that was. Their defense was awful at the end of that game. So very, very strange. It's a strange time. I thought that Jordan Love looked like a real deal player in the fourth quarter, and it feels like he's got some confidence. If this game were in Detroit, I'd pick Detroit.
Yeah, I know. That's a hard one, Green, because Detroit, I think, is good too. So,
all right.
I've
Here
got
we go.
Green Bay. You do too.
All right. Over in London, the Falcons, who are 2-1, will take on the Jaguars. You can watch this game, Mom, at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday. Falcons at Jags.
Yeah, I'm not picking Atlanta again. I'm Jacksonville.
I've got Jacksonville as well. Dolphins at Bills, and by far and away the best game of the year.
I have that one starred because I've agonized over this game. I don't know if Miami scored all their points for the season last week or not. And I know Buffalo's good too. I took Miami. I think Miami's kind of riding a wave right now. And if Tua continues to stay upright, as we say, I think they've got a lot of weapons.
They have the 4 fastest receivers in the league on the same team.
Yeah, I know. How did that happen?
Well, they made a smart trade and they drafted well. I think the Dolphins are great. I took them as well, and I have them winning this game on the road against the Bills.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm glad to know I wasn't totally crazy, because I did agonize over it a bit.
In a battle between two teams, and this is not the only one on the weekend, at a battle of two teams that neither have won a game, we have the Vikings on the road against the Panthers. Both are 0-3.
I know, and both are not so very good. But I took Minnesota.
I took the
taking
Vikings
Kirk
as well.
Cousins over whoever that guy is in Carolina who I'd never heard of. Right? Isn't that the team that has a quarterback I've never heard of?
You've heard of Bryce Young. He won the Heisman.
Oh, Bryce Young. Okay, no, I'm thinking of who am I thinking of that has that quarterback I've never heard of? Well, anyway, I still took Minnesota.
Well, Bryce Young may not play, and it may not matter. He's been hurt, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, Bryce Young is good. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I don't know if he's good. He was good in college, and you've heard of him.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Two terrible teams, and I mean terrible. I mean, this is a battle to see who sucks the most. Broncos, Bears.
I know. I took the Bears. I think they may suck a little less than Denver. Denver's really terrible. Now, I know they're playing in Denver, though. No, they're not. They're playing in Chicago. Okay, yeah, no, I took Chicago.
I don't know. I think these two organizations are both in complete disarray.
I agree. But I think Chicago may be in a little less disarray. I really never realized that Russell Wilson, was he so good in the beginning of his career?
He was great, but their problem's not Russell right now, although he's not good. They just gave up 70 points.
I know. I know. Now they're probably not. They're probably mad, but I'm still taking Chicago.
It's a coin flip game. I'll take the Bears. They both suck. I feel like the Broncos have already quit on Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, so I'll do it. Okay, great game. Ravens at Browns.
Yeah, it is a really good game. I took the Ravens. I don't really know why, except I don't know about Deshaun Watson.
He played great last week.
Well, I know he did, but I don't know. He's kind of iffy. I mean, he can either be really good or not so good.
No, he's basically been terrible since he's come back from the scandal, but he had a really good week last week. I think the reason that we're going to differ on this game, you take Baltimore, I'll take Cleveland. That's our first different, is I actually trust that Cleveland defense an awful lot. I think Cleveland's defense is the difference maker here.
Yeah, they are good. I agree.
It's a fun game. Okay, I think this is a strangely interesting game because of all the rookie quarterbacks. I think the Texans may have found the right guy, and it could be CJ's really good for them. Remember him at Ohio State, Mama. He was really, really good. He's off to a good start this season. The Steelers are at the Texans.
I know. I took Pittsburgh.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh too, but I think that game could be a little closer than people think. I suspect it might be. Rams at the Colts.
The Rams at the Colts. I took the Colts.
Me too. All right, Mom. Here's a test of your trust. The Bucs are on the road against the Saints in that Saints defense.
I know, and the Saints give us such trouble. We always struggle against them. I don't really know why, but anyway, I took Tampa Bay.
I'm going to take the Saints.
I know. I figured you would. I'm going to take them to bounce back.
Commanders at the Eagles. You're going to take the Eagles.
Yes, I am.
Bengals at the Titans. Good game.
Yeah, I took Cincinnati.
I guess I'll do the same. I'm wrestling with it. They're both 1-2. The Raiders are at the Chargers.
Yeah, I took the Chargers.
You and me both. I think the next game is a defensive-minded war here. The Patriots are at the Cowboys.
Yeah, I know it. I just think Dallas has got a little more on offense than New England. I took Dallas.
I did as well. I think we're both going to take the 49ers over the Cardinals.
Yes.
Here you go. Chiefs on the road against the Jets. You're going to take the Chiefs.
I am.
Finally, Seattle is at New York. That would be the Giants. Seattle at New York for the final game.
I took Seattle.
Me too. Oh. So we only have two different again this week, Mama. I went 2-0 last week against you. Now we have these two.
I need to. Well, if I win the Bucks game, I'll be happy. If we split, I'll be happy.
If we split and you win the Bucks game, I'll be happy. I'll be fine with that.
I know. Yeah, though that other game, the Baltimore-Cleveland game, yeah, I think that's really a toss-up too.
Fun game.
Yeah, and there's a couple of really good games this week, and then there's a couple of terrible ones.
Yeah, we have the battle.
Minnesota-Carolina game, and then what's the other one? Oh, yeah, the Denver Chicago game. Oh, Lordy. Well,
you should pay us to watch that game. Mama, I love you. It is always fun. I'm glad you were able to jump on with me this morning.
I know. I had to get my head together. Lordy, this is early for me, and then to be thinking and have to make serious picks.
Bye, Mom. Love you.
Well, enjoy your week off.
I will. Love you, Mama.
All right. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The leaves are starting to fall. The temperatures will start to fall. And the prices are falling right now at Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas. Incredible dealer discounts up to $5,000 are available on all hot spring spas. The industry leader in hot tubs and spas. If you've never experienced the sensation and relaxation of having your own hot tub in your backyard on a cool evening, you're truly missing out. The cold months are coming, and now's the time to set yourself up for the best winter season you've ever had. Plus, you'll gain the added health benefits of reduced stress, relief of sore muscles, and better sleep. You'll feel so relaxed after a nice soak in your new hot spring spa. You'll experience some of the best sleep of your life. Head over to Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road and check out their huge showroom packed with the best selection of hot tubs and spas available. And ask about getting up to $5,000 in discount, low interest financing, and a free accessory to make your hot tub dreams come true. If you're ready to relax, Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas is ready to show you how.
Someone who thought texting was a better idea than stopping for a traffic light slams into your rear bumper. Now your back is injured and you've got to be at work and rehab all without a car. I'm Dana Brooks of Basic Brooks Law Offices, and we hear stories like this every day. You shouldn't pay for someone else's mistake. Call us at 850-777-7777 and we'll make sure you come back stronger.
Attention radio listeners, this is a Foodies Takeout and Delivery new restaurant alert. Now available for takeout and delivery from foodiestakeout.com. The Hawthorne Bistro, Jerry's Love on a Plate, Coach's Pizza, Munchie's Pizza, Red Eye Coffee, Lofty Pursuits, OG Subs, Dave's Pizza Garage, Sakura Sushi, and many more. Find a complete list of locally owned restaurants offering takeout and delivery at foodiestakeout.com. That's foodiestakeout.com. Don't just shop local, order local.
Choose Hearth and Patio for custom fireplaces, maintenance, outdoor grills, kitchens, fire pits, lighting, and so much more. Check out all of Hearth and Patio's options online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth and Patio, they keep the home fires burning.
There's no doubt that buying a home can feel overwhelming, especially if it's your first home. You're worried about location, school zones, square footage, inspections, insurance, loan approvals, interest rates, and of course the price. Buying a home could be the most significant investment you've ever made. But there's good news. You have our friends at Legendary Home Loans, and they're on your side and in your corner. They're going to go to bat for you. Shannon Young from Legendary Home Loans can help first-time home buyers get up to $25,000 for your down payment. For first responders, veterans, teachers, military, and healthcare workers, and that's not all. Shannon is an expert navigator of the home loan terrain, and you can trust that he's going to get you the most competitive interest rates and guide you through the process every step of the way. Plus, Shannon will also get your closing costs reduced. It's the Hometown Heroes program at Legendary Home Loans. Give them a call today, 844-FSU-LOAN. That's 844-FSU-LOAN. Or go to FSUHomeLoans.com and ask for Shannon Young.
NMLS number 2270-146.
Here's a tip to keep it cool from E&B Heating and Air. Your outdoor unit works better if it's clean and clear of debris. Plants, grass, weeds, and trees can reduce performance, raising your power bill. Visit ENBHeatandAir.com to get a free quote today.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeloans.com. FSUHomeloans.com.
Wrapping it up on the Jeff Cameron Show, a Redemption Thursday edition, somewhat Libations Friday edition. Combo segments abound. We just did Red Zone. Now we're going to do ISF and Solve for the Future. Don't want to leave these guys out just because I'm taking a Friday off during the bye week. We're also going to do probables. And Braves fans, I'll have a stat for you in a moment. Probably heard all the stats you could possibly hear about Ronald Acuna Jr. and the season that he's had. And by the way, I want to especially thank Ronald Acuna Jr. I picked him before the season began in the summertime, before things got, I shouldn't say the summertime, as before the season began. I jumped on him because obviously we'd all seen the ability, the gifted and talented Ronald Acuna Jr. had already displayed, but he hadn't stayed healthy. And so I was kind of the mindset that if he ever does, I can only imagine the season that he's going to put together. And so I threw a little pizza money down on my man in the offseason in the hopes that he would win it. And you should know that you get incredibly good odds when you bet in the offseason on an individual player to win an MVP because of all the things that have to happen for that player to win said MVP. A, they got to beat out the rest of the league. B, or at least in their department, the National League or the American League. And then B, they got to stay healthy. And so, you're hoping some guy doesn't have a career year at the same time that your guy that you selected to bet on plays well, but also that your guy just somehow stays healthy. And given that Ronald Acuna Jr. has not always stayed healthy and the manner in which he plays, which is all out, and he steals a ton of bases, you can get hurt. Thankfully, he has not. And that number that I will send your way here momentarily certainly solves for the future, but that's not the future that I had in mind. I was just going to note for you that my friends at ISF all across the country from right here in little old Tallahassee. How awesome is that? They've made state agencies like yours, perhaps, and businesses like yours. They've been helping you. They've been aiding you since 1979. They've been honing the capabilities there at ISF and the glow of the digital revolution and ever-changing technologies of the information age. You like how grandiose I'm going today, guys? Clients rely on ISF, advise, protect, advance their management and business practices, and they understand the way state government works. They understand the full spectrum of the business processes that need to be better, workflows, strategies, IT initiatives, all those things. I tell you about it all the time, and that's why ISF collaborates with us, and we collaborate with them, and we celebrate ISF whenever we solve for the future. As for Florida State, I think very specifically solving for the future involves this. Probably changing personnel on the offensive line. They have to hope that Maurice Smith stays healthy for the remainder of the season at center. If he does not, they'll move Washington to center, who I think has done an admirable job at the position, but I think he's more valuable elsewhere. We've often referred to him as sort of a Swiss Army knife in Darius Washington because he's a guy that can play tackle, he's a guy that can play guard, and he's a guy that can play center, and he can play all of those in a plus way. But I think he's more valuable along the rest of the line. And that's because you've had some ups and downs in the way of performances at guard. That hasn't been great play at guard, and it hasn't been great play, frankly, at right tackle. The other thing about that is this. If you're juggling personnel, and we just don't know how much of Robert Scott you're going to have this year, how available is he going to be? Is he going to be ready for this next game against Virginia Tech? One would hope so. I'd like to believe so. It seems like they were angling in that way. If he starts at left tackle, and I think he is your best option at left tackle, frankly, then I think you have to move Bless Harris over to right tackle. Bless Harris has been consistently good. And I think Bless Harris is your answer at one of the tackles regardless. So if Robert Scott's back, He gives you your best opportunity at left tackle. I also think you'll run the ball better when Robert Scott's out there. You'll put Bless Harris at right tackle, who's very good in pass pro and adequate in run blocking. You might ask, what would you do with Jeremiah Byers? Well, Jeremiah Byers may have the best feet of any of the offensive linemen, but there is a guy that I think you could put at guard if need be. It may be that he ends up benched. Maybe you don't have your best 5 out there right now, and I don't know if he would be a part of it. My suggestion would be at this point probably to put him at guard. You can certainly pull him, and now all of a sudden you're looking at your 2 tackles as Scott and Harris and Byers on the inside. Emmanuel hasn't been great. He hasn't played a lot either. He's been hurt. Casey Roddick's been up and down. You've got some room to juggle. It may be that Darius Washington should be in this starting 5 if your 2 tackles are solidified and your center is healthy. Maybe you put him at guard somewhere along the way as well. So that would be the future I saw for, because I think you got to get this running game going. There's no doubt. And if they do not, they're going to have a hard time going through the rest of this season unscathed. They're good enough and talented enough at the skill positions that if Jordan Travis gets right and you can once again threaten defenses with the ability, his ability to run the football, then I think you can open up the rest of the running game, get Trey Benson going, get the rest of these talented running backs going. So to me, solving for the future here may be juggling your offensive line personnel. All right. So I mentioned that this was going to be a combination ISF segment, solving for the future, and we thank our friends at ISF. You want to learn more, as always, I would invite you to go to isf.com, especially if you are in state government and you're looking to get some help. IT initiatives, you want these business needs to inform your work and integrate and develop solutions that best fit what you're trying to do. ISF's the answer, isf.com. But I also said that we would do probables here. And while I won't have the probables in the background, I will mention that Power Mill Sports Training Academy is where you want to go. If you got a young man, young woman, want to play softball, want to play baseball, take them on over to Power Mill Sports. Want to learn more, go to powermillsports.com. They've had camps. They got great instruction over there. They develop skills, which are foundational to every player's game. You guys know that. They focus on the skills that help them reach their true potential and perhaps go to the next level. In fact, speaking of the next level, they've got 27 alumni in the major leagues, 45 years worth of experience, over 2,000 alumni overall. My kids went over there as well. Power Mill Training Academy, powering performance, probables. To get to those momentarily, first the stats. So, yesterday, in a very critical situation, I might add, tied at 5, game in the 10th inning. We're going to stop the game to celebrate. I don't know if I would have done that, but I'm kind of okay with it because, man, it's nuts. Ronald Acuna Jr. stole his 70th base. He became the first player in baseball history to have a 40-70 season. A 40-70 season. Now, he was already the first player to have a 40-69 season and a 40-68 season, and you could reverse it and say a 39-68 season, etc. He was the first to do all of those things. Bravo, tip of the cap, Ronald Acuna Jr. But there it is. It's now official. 40-70 is a thing. It's happened. So I won't go through the history of baseball, but it's pretty cool anytime something happens for the first time in the history of baseball, since they've been playing it forever, and it is a numbers game, right? When you have played, per Joe Posnanski, 2,430 baseball games, which is what you play every single year, by the way, collectively 2,430 baseball games. And there have been more than 54,000 regular season games played since 2000. 54,000 regular season games played since 2000. And nobody, just since 2000, let alone the history of the game, in 54,000 regular season games, have they ever been able to stop one of them to celebrate a guy going 40-70? You kind of understand why. Maybe, just maybe, they stopped that game. 40-70 for Ronald Acuna Jr. All right, now, here we go. Probables. A's, Twins, Luis Medina, Sonny Gray, D-backs, White Sox, Bryce Jarvis, Touki Toussaint, Cardinals, Brewers, Dakota Hudson, Corbin Burns, Pirates, Phillies, Luis Ortiz, Zach Wheeler, Red Sox, Orioles, Chris Sale, Dean Creamer, Yankees, Blue Jays, Luke Weaver, still out there. Hang in there, Luke. You play as long as you can, buddy. Chris Bassett goes for the Blue Jays. Marlins, Mets, big game. Jesus Luzardo, Dave Peterson, Cubs, Braves, big game. Marcus Stroman, A.J. Smith-Shawver. Got the Dodgers and the Rockies. Ryan Yarbrough, Chris Flexen. Rangers, Mariners, Jordan Montgomery, Logan Gilbert. Royals, Tigers, Cole Reagans from right here in Tallahassee, Florida. Go Cole. By the way, Cole's good. 7-4 with a 3.31, 105 strikeouts. He's pitched well. Sawyer Gibson Long, sounds like a bad country band, is going for the Tigers. Royals, Tigers in game 2 of a doubleheader that nobody's going to watch. Jonathan Bolin, Tariq Skubal. That is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. And with that, I will say goodbye. Thank you. That's all. It's not really goodbye. I'll be around. You'll be around. I hope you have a good weekend. Mine's going to be long. I'm going to play golf tomorrow. It's going to be glorious. But I will be back with you on Monday, and we will get geared back up, and all will be right with the world as JCS returns to studio, and Tom Lang is with us, and the fun continues over as we get set to preview Florida State against Virginia Tech. For Director Matthew, and for Ben Spicer, and for Tom Lang, I'm Jeff Cameron. Be good. Peace.